The first time I saw her writing on the classroom wall, I thought she had lost her mind. I was sitting at the back of our dusty old classroom, fighting sleep during free period. The room smelled like chalk and the air was heavy from the midday heat. That's when I noticed Ngozi standing by the far wall. She wasn't drawing or writing anything that made sense. She was making little shapes, like cowrie shells, tiny huts, and animals, in between bits of English words. At first I thought she was just bored. But then she pulled out a small calabash from her bag. Inside were smooth white stones, each one painted with strange symbols. Nobody else noticed her except me. She moved the stones around on her desk like she was playing a quiet game with herself. It was the weirdest thing I had ever seen someone do before exams. The thing about Ngozi was, she wasn't dumb. But her grades always hovered around C's. She was quiet, always sitting near the window, sketching patterns in her notebook instead of taking the real notes. Teachers had given up on her. I didn't pay much attention until our midterm exams were just 2 weeks away. That's when something strange happened. Every break time, instead of hanging out under the mango tree like the rest of us, she sat in the same corner of the classroom. Sometimes she'd be drawing symbols, other times she'd be tapping her fingers on the desk in a steady rhythm, tap, tap, pause, tap, tap, tap. I finally asked her, "What are you doing?" She looked up like she had been caught stealing. "I'm remembering," she said. Turns out, the symbols she drew weren't random. They were part of an old trick her grandmother had taught her, a memory method from their village in Enugu. Back in the day, people used it to remember long market lists, family histories, even old songs. The trick was to turn every idea into a picture from daily life. For example, if she needed to remember the formula for solving equations, she'd turn each number into an animal. 2 became a goat, 3 became a chicken, and plus was a woven basket. In her mind, the goat and the chicken would both jump into the basket. She could remember the whole equation as a story instead of code numbers. But she didn't stop there. She made a memory map of our entire classroom. The teacher's desk became the mountain for geography facts. The window became the river for biology terms. Even the squeaky door was the drum for literature quotes. She'd imagine walking through the classroom in her mind, touching each spot, and remembering exactly what fact she had stored there. On the day of the math exam, I watched her. She didn't look stressed. She sat calmly, staring at the wall for a moment before writing. It was almost scary, like she was reading the answers from some invisible paper in front of her. When results came out, we were all shocked. Ngozi had jumped from a C in math to a solid A. Not only that, her grades in all subjects went up. People whispered about cheating, but I knew better. I had seen her spend hours in that corner, whispering little stories to herself while moving her stones. After the term ended, she explained the whole thing to me in detail. It wasn't magic. It was just different. She used her brain like it was a village map, with landmarks that held the things she needed to remember. And maybe the strangest part. She told me her grandmother had learned it from her grandmother, who used it to remember the names of every family in the village, even after she went almost blind. A few months later, I tried the trick myself. I didn't use cowrie stones or symbols, I used bottle caps and doodles. My grades improved. Not as fast as hers, but enough to know it wasn't luck. I guess some secrets from the past are worth holding on to. Especially the ones hidden in strange drawings on an old classroom wall.